talking about international global tech giants. We've included Samsung in this conversation, although we have looked at it fairly recently, so we're going to be kind of quick. It's a South Korean multinational electronics company. It's part of a Kaibol, headquartered in Suwon in South Korea, but it's kind of like the biggest and most interesting part of the Samsung group. But it's also one of the world's largest players in LED TVs, manufacturing chips and equipment for other companies, including Apple as it happens, and then a big player, of course, in its own right in the mobile phone business with its Galaxy range of phones. Sort of done okay. It's got about a market cap, once you convert from Korean won, which are normally in the trillions, it's got a market cap, I see there, okay, they're of 179.97 billion US dollars. That's right. Price earnings ratio 8.97, which tells you the shareholders are grumpy. Dividend yield of 3.33%. But it's sort of battled, right? It's been a bit margin pressured.
We used to love the stock a few years back, especially when they came onto the scene and just kind of annihilating Apple's advantage in the smartphone market at that time. But things have just kind of come off for them a little bit. They are very focused on emerging markets in terms of devices sales.
Because the average selling price of a Samsung, I think, is about $190 or something, whereas an Apple is like $400.
Absolutely.
So
that's why people think I'm crazy to have an iPhone, especially my husband. But he's a Samsung man. But the real thing, is that it's not only the devices sales. You've also got the semiconductor chips and
which is brutally competitive
LED screen
market.
stuff. Yes, but you only have 5 big players. Did you know that? 5 big players, but still super competitive. And we've also seen a decline in sales of things like household electronics, of
unfortunately,
computers.
the discretionary purchases of the big screen TVs have slowed a bit just because of, things being a bit poor out there.
Absolutely, and those are actually their high margin products. So because they charge so little for these smartphones relative to Apple, they've got much smaller margins. So these guys are not only seeing their revenue come under pressure, but also their margins.
And let's look and see what the share price looks as a consequence now. That is the OTC listed Pink Sheets US ADR version, so it's a bit bouncy. You'll find that if you looked at the Korean listed version, it would be a little bit less like that. But you can see the share chart over 5 years hasn't really done anybody any favors. And I know that at a recent AGM of Samsung, there was a bit of non-Korean behavior where they were sort of shouting and complaining about the performance of the share price.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think especially in the dollar terms, you would have had an issue. One, probably flat, still an issue.
So not hot on this one for now.
For now, no.
Okay, good.